This is your transform balloon. It is a single lumen balloon used for balloon assist coilings. Since it is a single lumen balloon, that means that it requires a wire to create a seal to help inflate the balloon. And so the balloon will not inflate unless you have a wire going through the lumen of the balloon. We have two types. We have super compliant and compliant. Super compliant is going to be more flexible than that of compliant. And then we have a whole range of sizes. So just showing here, in each transform, there's going to be this kind of guide, and this really shows how much you want to inflate the balloon. So if you wanted to, this is a 3x5, for example. So if you wanted to inflate it to the balloon size to be about 3, here it's indicating that's 3.2. You would do about 0.05 cc's of contrast. If you wanted to be about 3, it'd be kind of in between. It'd be about 2. Like a 2.9 is about 3, so it'd be about 0.04, 0.03 cc's of contrast. So it comes with each one so that you can kind of see how much the physician wants to inflate it. But basically either using a 1 cc syringe for the smaller balloons and then a 10 cc for the larger balloons will be sufficient. So here's your transform. First, you want to, I'm not going to do it actually. First, you want to just flush the outer body. So flush this with saline, but this is the only port that you want to flush saline through. Do not put saline through this. This is where you are just going to use contrast, 100% contrast or a contrast saline mixture. So first you're going to flush this with saline. After that, you pull this out. And what's going to attach here is going to be your system. So you need to build your system. You need a 3-way, an RHV, and then I like for this balloon, since we want to just inflate it about 0.04, use just a 1 cc syringe, and then filled with 100% contrast or contrast saline mixture, filled up to about the 1. I like to do that, so then I know when I've inserted about 3 to 4 cc's, 0.3 to 4 cc's, and then having another syringe filled with contrast saline mixture, just like a 10 or a 6 or a 10 cc syringe. So we're going to build our system like so. And so basically you want to flush okay, and then kind of do wet to wet. So turn that off and do wet to wet. So there, and then you have this syringe, wet to wet. Okay, so it looks like that. And then you want this to be about 1, so I like to just push that up so that it's about 1. And that just is an easier, accurate measurement. So this is all prepped and ready to go. Now you can attach this to the transform balloon port. Okay, so like that. And then we want to flush the system first without the wire. So I like to put this in some saline so that I can see. And let's turn this off. So can you see there, Katie?
Mm-hmm.
So you get rid of the bubbles, and then once you have a constant stream of contrast, that's when you know all the bubbles are out. So now at this point, you grab your wire. So synchro wire works fine, especially since this is going to be, you're going to be in and out pretty quickly. The only reason why you wouldn't use a synchro wire is because there's several nitinol, or there's several micro machine cuts, and it can cause some leakage. But because we're in and out, it really isn't going to make much of a difference. If you were to do a balloon test occlusion, then yeah, you could probably use a transcend wire. So slide Okay. So now here you can see our wires extended past the tip of the balloon, like so. And so this is what you need. So as I mentioned, since it's single lumen, this is what you need. The wire, it needs to be past the tip or at the tip in order to inflate the balloon. You can kind of see the radial peg markers right there of where the balloon's gonna be. So then you tighten down your RHV, and theoretically at this point, you could then give it to the physician to then go up into the patient. But if the physician wants you to test for bubbles and see if there's any bubbles, feel free to do so. So as a result, so we've tightened down the RHV, and then this is where we push the 1 cc syringe. We're gonna push it about 3, and it's gonna inflate like so. And yep, there is a little air bubble in there. So at that point, if the physician really wanted to get rid of the bubble, what you could do is then deflate, either pulling this back, or you can deflate by pulling the wire. So if you deflate, you'll see that by pulling the wire, it deflates immediately. And then you can push the wire back out and inflate again, 0.33. Like so.
And pulling that wire back in the water also helps with the air bubbles too? Is that?
Yeah, it does help. It does help. I can't say that it makes a huge difference,
Okay.
Whether you're in the water or not.
Okay.
But yeah, if you feel like you're still getting air bubbles, then again, just kind of pulling back, and then you. It's not pulling back. Yeah. Honestly, the easiest thing to do is just to pull the wire so that it happens quickly. And then you may need to, if you're still having air bubbles, you may need to reflush the system again. But hopefully that's not the case. So, and then once that's been prepped, you're all set to go.
Great.